Good afternoon, everybody. This is the Roaming Prepper channel, and this is your host, Pete. I hope everyone is doing well. And first and foremost, if anyone comes on the chat and you see me moving my mouth and don't hear sound, please let me know in the comments. That would be most appreciated. And hey, Monique, how are you? Good evening. Or good afternoon for where you are. It's kind of hitting evening on my side of the world. I hope everyone's doing well, and I would encourage you, if you have some time, check out a short video Heroic put out, as well as a couple other folks. Things all happened in the last 48 hours. It's been really bizarre to witness. Thank you, Monique. I appreciate that. And I got to tell you, I didn't know, and you guys know me, I like to organize my streams. I don't try to squirrel too much, although sometimes we do, and kind of have a flow to it. And tonight there were so many things going on at once. I really didn't know which way to take it, and so it wasn't until kind of toward the last minute that I was kind of like, okay, this is kind of what I'm going to go with. Tuesday is not a super busy night for most folks. Unfortunately, this week my schedule is garbage. So I'm hoping to get all of this out. But in any case, we're going to start off with a video I found, and I'm going to share that screen in just a second. I think it's really relevant to what we're, oops, hold on. I did something wrong. The minute I clicked it, I know I screwed it up. Hold on, let's try that again. And there we go. That's what I wanted to share. And so I'm going to play this. If you cannot hear it, please let me know. And I'm going to roll it back just a bit. And we're going to listen to this guy who's from the Motley Fool. If you're unfamiliar with the Motley Fool, this is kind of a financial advisory type of webpage, and I think you guys will be interested in what he's saying. So let's hear what he's got to say.
Guys, in our pre-show chat, I'm going to just do a quick screen share. I'm not going to read through the whole thing, but I'm going to encourage people to find it. I'll drop the link to it in our Slido, and it's essentially the story of Ryan Peterson, who's an executive for a logistics company, who did a boat tour of Long Beach, the city of Long Beach Harbor. This is the largest port structure in the U.S. It is a major port. The ports of LA and Long Beach are enormous. But what he focused on and what he highlighted is the places, like where the constriction points are, where are the bottlenecks. And a really interesting thing he talked about is how there's over 100 of these giant cranes at the port of Long Beach. And he sat there and looked at, dozens of cargo ships, container ships lined up, and he saw like 6 of these cranes running, right? 6 out of like over 100, right?
Now, keep in mind, this guy with the beard is referring to the CEO of a shipping and like a major company, who was like, what the hell is going on? He rented a boat himself and got a captain of a charter boat to take him around the port of Los Angeles with the permission of the Coast Guard. I'm going to continue this because this is really important.
And what he learned as he talked to more people and kind of explored what's going on is you have the problem of empty containers, and it's like a major bottleneck. So a chassis has this, so they take a chassis and they put the container on it, right? These intermodal containers, and then the truck leaves the port and takes it to wherever it goes from there. And in Southern California, there's actually a lot of assembly that happens, so they empty the container, right? Now they have an empty container. Well, what do you do with an empty container? Take it back to the port. Nope, port's full. They don't have room for empty containers. Well, I can just drop it here on in the lot for the yard. Nope. Regulations, you can only stack them too high. You don't have any more room for them. So there are hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of the chassis that connect to the trucks that pull the trailers that have empty containers on them, and they can't get the container off to go pick up more containers, right? So it's just this weird little bottleneck that he talked about. And it just got me thinking, about this.
Maybe.
And if we could just take a few minutes and talk about it, because we got about 6 or 7 minutes left in the show. Are we underestimating the supply chain logistics mess as a threat to the economy? Rachel?
Yeah, I mean, I guess it depends how you're thinking about it. I think yes and no. I don't think it does any good to panic about it. But I don't really think there's a simple fix either. I think you have what really could only be described as sort of this perfect storm right now, because you have this just complete mess with the supply chain logistics globally right now, which out of a host of factors is somewhat being fueled by the worker shortage.
Right. Truck drivers, they can't get truck drivers, right? President Biden's talking about cutting the National Guard loose to have the military service that have these trucks start doing. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Insane. And of course, the worker shortage also has a direct impact on the economy. And then you have the inflow and outflow of goods, which is also an essential aspect of a well-functioning economy, and that is being stalled right now. So I do think it could have a significant impact. It was interesting because I did a little reading up on this, and I saw a story by CNBC, and apparently the U.S. Chamber of Commerce did a survey of local Chamber of Commerce leaders. And according to that survey, 90% of respondents said that the labor shortages were limiting economic growth in local areas. And one of those, sort of major lags that I think we've seen that a lot of people think of is the semiconductor shortage. And the Secretary of Commerce recently said at a conference that situation in and of itself, which is just one very small part of these supply chain logistic issues, she said, this is when I feel confident saying it's not going to be fixed in a month or 2 or 6 or 12 months. And that's, again, this one very small aspect. So I think this is something that could carry on for a few years. I really.
Okay, did you guys catch what she just said? This could go on for a few years. I'm going somewhere with this video because there's something behind what she's saying that I got sent to me. Hey, Loretta, how are you? But I'm going to let them keep talking. I'll just kind of jump in. But I do want to share this with you guys because they do a pretty decent breakdown of some of the things we've been talking about, even on Discord and all these. Right. Well, here's the problem. So the port is backlogged. The CEO who rented the boat to go see why his product was not arriving at his company, right? Yeah, I know she is. I swear she's in her potty. It was like, girl, go to your kitchen. Don't do interviews in the potty. Either that or she's in a home built in like 62 or something. I don't know. Hey, Josh, what's going on, man? But this CEO said out of 100 cranes, 6 to 8 were functioning. And they were like, well, why aren't the rest working? We can't find people. So this is absolutely insane. And keep in mind, they want to bring the National Guard to run these big, massive cranes that pick up the entire container. Takes specialization. I mean, you have to. This is something you have to learn to do over 6 months. It's a really intense cert. The Army can drive trucks for sure, but there's only so many certified truck drivers in the Army. It's nowhere near the number of civilian truck drivers we used to have. So you kind of see where this is all kind of getting to a loggerhead.
I hope that in the next 6 months we start to see a significant difference. But I don't think we should underestimate the long-term impact it could have on the economy for sure.
Our colleague Nick Rossalila was on the last hour, and we were talking about some of the semiconductor companies, and he follows that space pretty closely. And his expectations is like that's going to take a couple of years. So it's definitely concerning for those parts. But it's in a way, it's kind of like there's a good part of the problem too, because so much of it is about demand, right?
Right.
So that's the positive come out of all of this. Toby?
Yeah, I think that's right. I mean, I do have concerns.
This
I think it gets
dude's
better,
way too
but,
close to his camera.
like you guys said, it's going to take a while. I'm hearing logistics companies and manufacturers and transportation companies say like the crunch we have now goes into next year, at least beyond the holidays. Some people are saying 2023, which, I mean, look, over a year, right, before it really starts to get substantially better. We don't know, but I think you need to assume it drags on past the end of the year. I think if you're a CEO and you're smart, and most of them are, let's be honest, if you're a CEO of a company, probably you're not stupid. I think they need to just accept that. I think most companies are starting to do that. They're saying, like, this is our reality. How do we plan around it? How do we adapt to this? Let's just assume it's going to go on for a while and do what we need to do to continue to deliver our products and services in this environment, whatever that's going to take, right? I think for personally, for all of us as individuals, I think you might want to do your Christmas shopping early this year. I think that's one takeaway, right? Don't wait for Black Friday if you've got kids who are going to do who like to cry when they get disappointed.
Is it going to be a Black Friday? Are we actually going to see these retailers go into the black? They don't have anything to sell us.
That's a good point. It might be bad for retailers, but I think there is some stuff there, and you certainly want it to be under your tree, not under your neighbors, right? So I'm just saying. Think about, or you talk about, it's not about stuff, right? It's about experience. It's about making memories. Maybe this is the year that you introduce that concept to your kids, because who knows? Kidding aside, I think within our own households, you make the assumption that this is going to be an issue for a little bit, and do what you need to do, right? Whether that's shopping early for Christmas, or whether that's saying, you know what, maybe when I order toilet paper from Amazon, I get it 2 weeks earlier and say, right, just assume it's going to take you longer to get stuff. And if you're throwing a Halloween party, don't assume you can order on October 28th and get all the stuff in that you need in time for that.
And
right?
this video was made about a week ago. So
assume there's going to be some delays, and there might be some delays. And just adapt. We had a whole year last year where we did nothing but adapt to the new situation. I think we can adapt to this. It just requires a recognition of reality, and then, taking the proper steps based on that.
Yeah, just be flexible, right? Be kind. I think that's a big thing. We need to be kind to the folks in retail that are just.
Yeah, they can't control if there's nothing coming off the trucks. It's not, what are they going to do?
So that I found really super interesting, gang. And again, I wasn't sure. So many weird things are going on at once that caught my attention that I was like, God, where do I start this stream today? Yeah, we're going to continue to have to adapt. And this is just weird because I actually had a guy who is not only a doctor, like a medical doctor, but he's a physicist. Okay, so this is probably coming from an engineer. He's one of the most intelligent dudes I've ever met. And he sent me this article today, and having hung out with me enough, he had reached out and was like, guess what I just did? I just bought this, and that, and I'm storing this. So he suddenly went into prepper mode. I guess he's always been one, because he used to be a firefighter, but now he's like amped it out, and now he's spreading the word to other people, which is good. But he sent me this article, and this one kind of segues into what we just saw. There's a lot. And by the way, folks, if you have not seen Lucky or Tennessee, there are a few creators here. Lucky, if you are where you can type, if you want to start dropping links to the other creators, by all means do so, or Loretta, whoever can get to it. But in the meantime, I'm going to share this article because this one's really interesting. So this one was on medium.com. I'm a 20-year truck driver, and I will tell you why America's shipping crisis will not end. And he said, I have a simple question for every expert who thinks that they understand the root causes of the shipping crisis. Why is there only one crane for every 50 to 100 trucks at every port in America? Now, I don't know if he means there's only one available or there's only one working. But he's a Class A truck driver, 20 years experience. And my experience in the trucking industry tells me that nothing is going to change in the shipping industry. Think of going to the port as going to Walmart on Black Friday, but imagine only one cashier for thousands of customers. Isn't that normally what Walmart has? Like one cashier for thousands of customers? I don't recall them having many, but right. And Joe's spot on with this. It's the just in time shipping that doesn't allow people to there's no leeway, there's no buffer. When things happen, it immediately screws up the supply chain. And so yeah, you're looking here and it says hundreds of trucks daily have to pass through 5-10 available gates. Some ports are worse than others, but excessive wait times are not uncommon. I'm fortunate enough to be a Teamster, union driver, and employee paid by the hour. And the dogs are celebrating back there. They get paid the same, and they have to pay 90% of their, whether the load takes 2 hours, 14 hours, or 3 days, they get paid the same per hour. Excuse me. Monique, no, I did not, and I'm glad you reminded me. I will go watch that now. I thought I did, but now I'm thinking about it. I may not have. This last week has been a complete mess. Yeah, and there are things that can be done, pragmatically done, without disrupting, state governments or anything. The fact that Governor DeSantis in Florida basically said, we have capacity, we've got extra crane operators, Jacksonville, Tampa, Miami, come on down. We will take your excess. Now, granted, if you've already parked a ship off of LA or New York, it's not easy to turn them and get them to go the other way. But this is a challenge. This is not easy to suddenly reroute ships. But the fact that we had docks, you would think logistics guys would be looking, going, LA is backlogged 100 ships. Let me call the other ports and get on the phone and start calling the other ports. But apparently not so much. So I have no idea what's going on in the back of the house, but they are having a party back there. So in any case, yeah, he goes on, and this is on medium.com. He goes on to state that a lot of these drivers take a two-third pay cut during the Rona because there was nothing going on. So yeah, that's not bueno. This is a major problem. I don't know what's going on. They're probably barking at their own cats who are looking at them through the window, which is funny because if the little dog, if the little dogs go out and mess with the cat will kick their ass. He's a 15-pound orange tabby. He's just this big, ornery old cat, and he will lay a beating into a dog. But anyway, I thought that was interesting. Lots of supply chain issues going on, and right, or simplify it, Joe. They just don't understand. I don't know why it got so complicated with all the port capacity we have. But in any case, okay, so another one. This is from the investor side. Good Lord, everyone's calling me now. This is from the investor side. Wheat rally is not over. It could be heading for 13-year high. Now, for an investor, that's awesome. But if you didn't buy into it, or if you're buying the damn wheat, that's going to be a problem. So fundamentals, a lot of the crop watchers are saying it's the weather. Now, if you listen to Ice Age Farmer, and I haven't listened to him as much as I'd have liked recently, he has a lot of other aspects that he can go into, and he can explain them way better than I can. That's not my area of expertise. But this is important stuff. What they're saying is, so Argentina, Brazil, and parts of the U.S., between the floods or the lack of rain, have had terrible crops, or the crops are all screwed up. You add to that the port issues, and it's going to, it's supply and demand. There's less supply, more demand. The price is going to go up. Works well for the wheat farmers. It's one of the few times they've come out ahead. But yeah. And Tennessee, that's absolutely true. Tennessee, are you where you can jump on right now? Or Lucky? I'm not sure if either of you are near a computer. I usually catch Lucky, and she's nowhere near her headset. So, but if either of you want to jump on, let me see. Hold on here. I'm having a malfunction. Good Lord. All right, so I can't apparently share a link and show a screen because my computer gets angry. And Joe, actually, that is what most of my family has agreed to, is they're going to go with outdoor equipment, cooking equipment, or firearm parts. So in any case, yeah, they're saying there's weather issues. How high could the prices go? Last time Chicago wheat hit $8 was December of 2012, and you remembered back then it was a serious. Let me see if I can get this link over. Okay. All right, Tennessee, if you can get to that link. Thank you, Lucky, for directing Tennessee there. But how high could the prices go? They could double or triple, according to this guy. And again, this is just an analyst. Keep in mind also that we also are going to see the natural gas prices go up. Now, I was told by a production foreman, right now there are 30 to 40,000 wells that are shut in the Texas, New Mexico, Oklahoma area, mainly that produce natural gas or oil, but a lot of them are gas producers. And part of the reason is they don't want them flaring because it does pollute, but they have nowhere to send the product. Like everything is backlogged, including the refineries. So hold on a second, folks. We got Tennessee's going to jump on here.
What's up, Pete?
Hey, man, what's going on?
Hey, man, crazy stuff. I was watching last night, Mayhem Studios. He's in the business, and he was saying that it's not on the trucks, it's on the ports, and that they're only running 5 days a week. And I was like, what's up with that? Why not Saturday and Sunday? Are they working as well?
So, wait, so these crane operators are not?
That's what I was hearing last night. Mayhem Studios. He's a guy. He used to be something else, but he's in the business. He was unloading last night as we speak. He said it's not really on the truckers. It's more at the ports where the jam up's happening. They're only running 5 days a week, so I don't know.
And I actually saw an article that said even if they went, it may have been the article that I just showed you guys, even if they put the cranes on 24/7, it would still take them 8 months just to get it caught up. Wow. But they can't do it because they may not have, do they not have the people?
That may be what's going on. I mean, I'm not there. I don't even live near a port town, but that's got to be what it is. I mean, a shortage of people, or is it mandates and restrictions? I mean, what's really going on?
I don't know. I mean, because you've got, it just doesn't make sense. You've got Florida saying, okay, that's what it was. There was an Amazon dude left a box outside, and the dog, that's why the dogs flipped out. They're like, you have a delivery. But, you got Florida and Texas ports that have capacity, that are open. And I mean, granted,
redirecting them there, right, Pete, is to say,
that's
hey,
what I thought.
We'll take that traffic if you want to bring it this way.
Yeah. And the problem is, once the ship is committed, like they're anchored to the port, they may send some of the crew on land to pick up supplies. So now they just can't pick up and go. That's not something easy. But you'd
Right.
think that inbound ships would start redirecting. If they're in the middle of the Atlantic, it'd be like, okay, New York's all screwed up, so's Virginia. I'm going to Jacksonville.
Right.
But they're not.
No, they're just parked, and dangerously too. A lot of ships out there, if you look at how they're grouping up,
Yeah.
they're pretty dangerous, man.
Well, that oil spill that happened in California. So, and I can speak to this having worked out there, but the production platforms, they have the pipeline. They can shut that pipeline down, but it's not an instantaneous thing. And apparently a ship anchor hit the pipeline and then drifted. And there they go again. And it broke the pipeline. And by the time the production platform saw what was happening and they shut it in, which takes a few steps. It's not like hitting a button. You don't want to blow out something else. By the time they backed everything off, you had that spill. And they want to sue the oil companies. It's like, well, the ship broke it.
Yeah. So it was anchored, and I guess dragged at a piece of that pipe and broke it loose.
Or dropped the anchor on the pipe. And the harbor master should have known where they were supposed to be, but there's so many now. This is unprecedented.
Yeah, it's chaos. If you look at it from a drone shot or a helicopter view, they're out there. It's like a parking lot. And high winds will knock over those I guess reefer containers, what we used to call them, the container ships. They're high. That wind will catch the side of those things, and you have to.
Right, you have to angle them a certain way, and they don't move fast at all.
No.
So, Joe, the song "Sabotage" from the Beastie Boys comes to mind.
Joe is crazy. I love him, man.
But Joe's got a good point. It's is it incompetence? Is it someone trying to drive up price to get some money? I mean, you can go down that rabbit hole.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I think it's money, because money is power anyway, right?
Right.
Unless they
Joe was
collapse.
saying something earlier that this all, like you said, we're dealing with 7 angles at one time every single day when we turn on the news. That it could be a scare tactic. It could be to drive the prices up. There's a lot of factors at play here.
Oh yeah, and it blows my mind that a lot of people just don't see it, and they don't realize we may legitimately have food issues come 3-4 months from now.
Maybe.
And we may not. I mean, we might. What did Lucky put? It's a little from calling.
Yeah, we don't know. These predictions we made, like I said, October would be bad. Like 6 months ago, I said, hey, October could be a bad month. Now it's looking like November. We keep pushing these dates off to like some kind of horrible event. That's dark winter or whatever they want to call it.
Yeah, and I think what it is just you're watching cascading malfunctions.
Right.
One leads to the other one, and they just keep falling over. You got Josh just popped in. I hear they're making big moves this month towards automating the trucking industry. I've seen some of those on the road, and they're really creepy.
Without a driver?
It's driverless. And they're experimental, but they usually have an escort car to make sure they don't like run off the road. It looks like something out of iRobot.
I remember that. Yeah,
but not the big one with all the angry robots inside. That flat one.
Mechanized robotic truck.
That's basically what it is.
Wow.
And that's scary. And you have one issue. And actually, here, look, this one I saw also. I thought this was interesting. I'll share this with you.
Watching you on the TV. Here we go.
3 ways the economic recovery could suddenly turn into a recession as red flags mount. And that one got posted today by Business Insider.
It's if they're you know what I mean? They're feathering it out there for us to. They're you know what I mean? Like they're setting up steps for us to be in case something does go down. They're like, we told you. I mean, does it seem that way?
Well, and it may just be these guys or girls. Maybe they get paid to do this. They may be like, whoa, I see a trend. This will make a great article. I'll get clicks, and they throw it up there. But so who's the author on this one? Andy Kurtz and Ben Wink. I don't know if that's his name, Wink. Um, so this one I thought was interesting. So he said a new variant, obviously, shuts down buildings and whatnot. But you notice what he says could shake consumer confidence. It's not that it would actually do anything terrible, is that it would get swelled up in the news to freak people out and drop stocks.
But isn't that what's happening already, Pete? Like Joe was saying, it seems like that's what they're prepping us for that already. Like, hey, boogeyman kind of stories. I don't know. I mean, to simplify it, I guess.
Yeah, and well, I don't know if you saw my short last week where I went to the bank to get some paperwork signed and notarized, and I was talking to the young lady. She couldn't have been 28. And I said, if we get another blackout, you want to have cash, because ATMs go down. And she says, wow, I didn't think of that. I should do that now because we're having issues getting cash.
Yeah.
This was a major bank. It wasn't like, Podunk State Bank. This was one of the big five. And I said, is it your branch? And she said, no, just the banks in general. We can't get cash from the Fed.
A lot of our big time creators are telling us to get the cash out now. I mean, how many people have we seen say empty the bank account except for what you need in there?
Yeah, it's concerning because if the power goes out, if there's a big hack, you're SOL. Like you can't. There they go again. Eventually, they'll get tired of barking at whatever it is. Also, I noticed this one: the Fed could tighten too hard and fast in response to inflation.
See,
I'm not super confident in our Fed right now.
No.
But
see, that's like them padding the fall. Like, hey, it's gonna be all right. But see, we're hearing it from
we're hearing it from a lot of folks.
Yes.
So,
wow.
Yeah. And this one's interesting too. So China and Evergrande could escalate into a full-blown financial crisis. So it makes me wonder, is that going to be like, remember 08 for us?
Yeah.
With the housing? Because China owns a lot of our T-bills, but we own a lot of the debt for their property. So how does that work out?
Wow. I don't know, man. We've been infiltrated, by the big, large Asian nation, if you would. But I don't understand how the debt to what they owe to what. Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
I'm not sure how that pans out. I just don't. This is not my specialty. Like, I just don't know enough about it. I see it and I know it's not right.
Right.
But I can't speak to it. And but it's concerning when you think about it. I mean, and then of course down here, don't count the recovery out just yet. So then at the very end, they're like, but it might still work out.
Yeah, here's your bright light of hope at the end. No, man. They think we're stupid, don't they? They really think we're stupid.
Well, it makes you wonder, is someone doing this just to get rich because they can?
That's a good possibility.
I mean, this just blows my mind. It's not just affecting their market either. I saw this one earlier, and oh, there's Bug Dude. Social credit score, own nothing, and be happy.
That's a scary topic, the social credit score. That's
and I think it's a level beyond just being an a-hole and running around and committing crimes. This is like they just decide they don't like you. You haven't done per se anything wrong.
Right. Could it be your social media activity too, as well as like they're looking at everything? And man, I've made no bones about my government on social media. I go after them. I mean,
no, and you know what? Josh has a good point, because we were energy neutral. We were energy independent.
Yeah.
And a lot of our plants were natural gas, which burns way cleaner than coal.
Absolutely.
And then they say, oh, we're going to shut down coal, and somehow they screwed up the drilling and oil and gas.
Well, we saw them gas prices as soon as that Keystone was shut down.
It's Tribe. What's going on, Tribe?
What's up, buddy? we saw them price increases immediately after the Keystone was shut down. I'm like, that has to, I mean, what
Yeah.
are we, 35-40% higher on gas now?
Well, so gas at its highest, which was during the Obama admin, was like 450 an MCF, which is 1,000 cubic feet.
I
It was
remember.
down to about $1.50, $2 under Trump because he had kind of loosened everything up. They're predicting it's going to go up to 15 to 20.
What are we supposed to do? How are you supposed to go to work if
And that's the natural gas. That we're not even counting like
well, okay,
the refining of
petroleum.
gasoline might go into the $4 and $5 per gallon.
I remember it was during Obama. It was 429 where I was at in Tennessee, and we were in line to get it like parking. There was might have been 80 cars, so it was an
Yeah.
hour or two before we even got to fill up. And all they had, Pete,
Yeah.
was super unleaded. That's all they had.
Yeah. What's
At that
funny,
moment.
we couldn't find it out here. In this part of Texas, it was 87 or 90, and that was it.
Right.
So the guys with like the high-end vehicles that needed 92, 94,
Right.
nope, they had to drive like to the next city to, which
I just
sucks.
got the better octane, the super, because that's all they had, and I needed to fill up. But we were literally car park, turn it off, go up, turn it off, and then people would get out of their cars and talk. Took me probably 45 minutes to get to the pump myself. I mean,
Wow.
we'd be worried that the guy says we're getting close to running out of gas. So the super was running out, but that's all there was, Peter. I'd have bought 90 or 89.
Yeah.
But it was
Well,
only
the fact that you had to shut or he had to shut down the gas station at some point
yeah.
because the pipeline got hacked.
Ah,
What the heck? And everything started when they broke into SolarWinds. I don't know if you remember that. That was toward the end of the last administration. They'd hit like Target, they hit the Capital One. They were doing little things, and then they got into SolarWinds, which is a subcontractor for DOE, DoD. SolarWinds had their fingers in like 4 agencies, and
right.
that within 3 months they hacked the pipeline.
Yeah, that was I remember that one.
Yeah.
We've had 4 major hacks at this point. Like,
Mhm.
the meat, the pipeline was
That's right.
So there were these, man,
You
what
had
happens
what?
if they attack something bigger come winter? This dark winter could come true. If they hack
Oh yeah.
the electrical, we're in trouble.
No, one thing that may help us is that some of our electrical is so antique that like they may not be able to hack it because it's old. But but
It is old.
but they don't have to take down like the whole country. They want to
Mhm.
screw things up, they can just hack and knock down like Chicago. Just
Hit the East Coast specifically.
yeah.
Just,
Well, remember back in 13 when a user error and like a tree that fell on a power line knocked out everything from like Rhode Island to New York City for 3 days?
that's a lot of residents right there.
Oh yeah, it went up to part of Ohio, like the whole, like if you took New York State and just went like that
Right.
to the Canadian border, it knocked out piece of Canada because the grids were all tied together.
Right.
And it was a massive malfunction. I couldn't imagine if they could figure out to hit a few things at once. You wouldn't have to collapse the country, just like shut down LA and let the society freak.
Yeah, and they would. That's
Oh yeah.
take 2 would be free. Yeah.
Oh, without a doubt. We'd see the hurricane lines.
Yeah.
Oh, what did he say? Hey, heirloom. They can't convince the middle on the. True.
Mhm.
And again, it may be. Oh, there we go. Thank you, Bug. There was a water treatment hack in Florida.
Yeah, Tampa or around the Tampa
Right.
area. That's the one I was thinking about. He turned the water to they set some of the settings to where we've been almost poisonous, right? They
Yeah.
got in
They were trying to add. It was one of the chemicals meant to clean, but if you put too much, it's
lye,
makes people sick. Yeah, it was lye. That's
Yeah.
what it was.
Mhm. That's 3 major ones. If you talk about the
Mhm.
gas pipeline, the water near it's near Tampa, I believe. And
Right.
then the meat. I mean,
I swear there were a couple others. I just can't remember them.
I
But
can't even. I know there's been at least 4 or 5 good solid hacks.
oh yeah, but these are all true risks. But
Mhm.
this whole thing is just, people don't realize that it's all like a little web. You start pulling the threads out, and the sleeves will come off the sweater. It's just.
Yeah,
Um,
interconnection of of everything.
oh yeah. Well, check this out. Speaking of housing, because we're the Chinese. With the Chinese. What's it, Evergrande? Their real estate company,
Grant, yeah.
Evergrande. So
Mhm.
um, so this one was more sellers are cutting their list price. So this Alicia, this is from Market Watch, which I do read a lot. They're really interesting. Was pointing out that a lot of these home sellers are having to cut their prices because they're struggling to find buyers. So remember, it got really superheated like 6 months ago, where the housing prices, the wood, everything just took off.
Yeah.
Now it's falling down the other way, which is kind of frightening. Mortgage rates still remain near record lows, but many potential buyers worried about the recent rise of home prices aren't sure if they should dip their toes into a housing market. So, and then you got to add, are they not buying because, a bigger house means more electricity because that price is going up? I got to move my stuff, shipping
Didn't
my
we?
shit.
Yeah, didn't we see this housing thing kind of coming? Like I just bought. I've been moved into my new house since June, and my
Yeah,
realtor, I told him about it because I listen to a lot of you guys, at Pinball and certain people. And he said, "How do you know about the housing crisis that could be coming up?" I said, "Hey, I just follow economists and people in the
yeah.
know." He was worried about it, my realtor, but I got out before all that. Is where we are now.
I'll
I'm in
tell
a
you
new.
what got bad was the for the private folks like you and I, like say we have our house and we're like, I got some extra money. I'm going to invest in like a couple of apartments or a home, and I'm going to rent it out and make some money and get equity from two properties. And during the eviction moratorium, it killed the private landowners, like the private renters. People, everyone I knew who had a rental property, they sold it. They're like, I'm done. I just, they were paying two
Right.
mortgages and not getting rent.
Yeah, and of course those moratoriums were in place to protect the leasees and not the leaseors, I guess, if in fair housing terms. So you weren't able to get rent, and you still had to pay them mortgages, the one you're living in
Hmm.
and the duplex, say you bought down the road.
Yeah.
It's scary, scary stuff, man. And those people still haven't been paying.
Oh,
I'm pretty
so
sure.
Tribe, y'all hear LAX airport lost 50% of power last night.
No, I
I
didn't know.
I did not. Tribe, you got a sec? We'll bring him up here too if he's got a.
He had some good stuff going on this morning. I followed like 3 videos in a row he did, and I was like,
Yeah.
"What?"
I don't know if Tribe's where he can talk or if he's following on a phone. He may be, but I'd love to hear more about that because that's some scary stuff. So you got tens of thousands of wells being shut in, viable wells because of certain issues. You've got ports. It's like folks don't jump up there. There's a
Sandwich. She's gassing him. She gassed me up here. I came up because she said, "Get up there." I was like, "Yes, ma'am."
Lucky. Lucky's awesome.
She
And
is awesome.
usually she's she comes up like every week, every other week. I'll try and bring her up. Um, but yeah, it's scary stuff, man. And this I saw this article, which is and this is kind of on a different direction. But this is something Northern Girl Hobbies. Oh, sorry, hold on, I got the wrong screen here. Northern Girl had pointed out with what's going on, and it kind of pissed me off, but I think it's good to know. Um,
Oh,
yeah, this is getting bad. I spoke to some law enforcement guys that I know, some who were guardsmen with me, in the past, and
right.
they said it's getting bad because people are getting desperate and they're doing dumb things. So
Right.
lucky. I've been up there so many some diversity.
Hmm.
I'll tell you what, though, if you guys have not subscribed to Lucky Dame, you absolutely have to go. And there's her original page was Patriot Sandwich Maker, and then it became Sandwich.
Right.
And so that's why, I mean, you know this, but in case you've never seen her site before or her channel, that would be why you have a lot of folks calling her Sandwich. And you're like, who the hell is that? That's Lucky.
I thought
So,
it was yeah, I remember Patriot Sandwich Maker in the early days, and then it became Sandwich. We nickname each other like in Nordic Hobbies is NGH. I'm TT1. You know,
mhm.
we all have nicknames.
I'm getting RP a lot now.
Hey, I like it. I like
So,
RP's good.
yeah.
It's good.
Which is better than some others that I guess I could wind up with.
Yeah.
But yeah, so as a responder, I had to go through training, and this is kind of like my public service announcement, and also a shout out to NGH. She's not in the chat. I know I think she's hunting this week, but
Right.
you know, keep an eye out for the signs. There are different sites that kind of indicate what goes on, because there's been a lot of issues lately. I'm reading, even in the smaller cities, of kids going. Kids are being kids, right? We were stupid as teenagers. God knows I was stupid as a teenager, and they don't come home, and they get trafficked away somewhere. So you gotta.
As
I
a
I
parent,
would.
Pete, and a grandparent, that
Mhm.
scares the hell out of me, man.
Oh, no doubt. Well, I have a good one for you. This one made me happy. Right after I read the one I just shared with you, I saw this one, and it was like, so so this is where it went sideways. So Washington dad rescued his daughter and then killed the boyfriend. He believes sold her for $1,000 to a trafficking group. So they arrested the dad because they were wondering what the hell happened. They said Spokane, Washington father is accused of killing the daughter's boyfriend. Police say they found the car abandoned, wherever this is, and a foul load from the deceased. While investigating the case, detectives discovered that 60-year-old John Eisman Sr. learned his juvenile daughter was allegedly sold to a trafficking organization in Seattle. Eisman said his daughter's 19-year-old boyfriend was was one responsible. He was able to rescue his daughter and get her back to Spokane. Prior to this incident, Eisman had no criminal history or any violent criminal history, and nothing online. So they set his bond at $1 million. Man, as a judge, I don't know, but well, Tennessee and Texas have similar beliefs on this. Um, uh, Sniffy Joe.
The $1 million bond is to kind of set it to where you do have to offer bond, right? But $1
Right.
million, who's going to come up with a quarter of that or whatever it is? What is it, 50%
I
of
think
that?
it could be 10%. It's up to the judge.
Okay,
So still, that's a lot. That's 100 grand. But
100 grand.
I mean, what do you? How do you, as a judge? I mean, as a dad, and like you said, we have children in our family.
Yeah.
I'm not pissed at this guy. I might have done the same shit. So scary stuff, man.
When it comes to my kids, I get a little sensitive. Like if you mess with
Oh
me,
yeah.
that's fine. But my kids, man, I get real passionate and sensitive about that, man. When it comes to kids, period, even kids from up the street, man.
Yeah. And that's important. As times start getting tough, folks, watch your neighbors, get to know your neighbors, watch your kids. Okay, because it may come down to the counties and subdivisions and neighbors taking care of each other. Because the feds don't seem to know what the hell they're doing.
They are asleep at the wheel. We seen the
Yeah.
president sleeping
with the Pope. I'm not even going to go into what supposedly happened while he was visiting the Pope, because that was just funny.
Yeah, this was today, Pete. It was he fell asleep at one of the summits, and he's literally an aide came up and had to wake him up. It looks bad. The optics on that look terrible for us as a country. That's pitiful, man.
No, it's tough. Who's
Hey guys,
Who we got?
Who's this?
non-weaponized preparedness.
What's going on, man?
Hey, man.
Oh, nothing. Just getting downstairs here after my dinner, and just trying to set my iPad up where you guys can see me. There we go. I've been following you guys on here for about 10 minutes.
Okay.
And RP, I'm a loyal subscriber, so
Cool. What do you think of all this, man?
oh, it's crazy, man. All the pipeline stuff, and then we had that gas line hack and everything.
Yeah, it's been crazy, brother. But yeah, it's been weird to say the least, my friend. But
Makes me wonder what's next, Pete. It really does.
no,
Like,
it sure does.
what's next? You know?
But well, I'll tell you what, I'm gonna try and get some more stuff, some more articles. Tennessee, is your email on your site?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, because we're
Absolutely.
about to hit an hour. So, but I just wanted to make sure that I'll reach out to you, and we may need to resume this conversation. My work schedule is so down the toilet that I wasn't able to really research, especially that housing tie. How does China tie to us?
Yeah, that's
So,
something I wanna think about that, because I know we owe them, they owe us. You know, it's
yeah,
this like yin yang type of situation we have going on that's kind of tumultuous at the moment. You know.
yeah. So, well, we'll see. We'll see where that goes, brother.
All right.
But NWP, thank you for jumping on real quick.
No
Tennessee,
problem.
I will holler at you later on. We'll try and get something
Okay.
something going here, and I'm gonna try and get Heroic up here next time because he's a lot of fun too. So he's kind of our East Coast, Northeast information guy. I kind of catch him in the mornings. So Red October, take care. We'll bring him up here too. We need to get a group of people. It's just once my schedule evens out in the next couple of weeks, we might do that.
Roman, you do really good stuff, man. You're smooth with your delivery, and you're easy to watch, and it's informative. I'm serious. Not just saying
Well, I
that.
appreciate that, brother.
Yeah.
Well, we'll get together again. And guys, like I said, I'm sure you've seen my chats or my posts. It's been damn near impossible to get some free time to kind of coherently organize a live. But I want to get this. I want to get a panel going, and we'll kind of see where we go from there.
All right.
Yeah, I would totally be up for that.
Well, cool, man. Well, look, you guys be safe. And a dog just got beat up by a cat. I could hear him screeching in the back.
That Heathcliff outside, man. That's a bad cat, man.
No, yeah. Orange tabbies, man. Don't mess with them.
Right.
Anyway, you guys be good. Y'all be safe in the chat. And we're going to wrap this one up here because I've gotten 2 texts from the bosses in the last 10 minutes. So I think they need me for something.
All right. See
You guys take care. Be safe.
Right. Appreciate it, Pete. Good to see you, buddy.
Be good. Take care, folks. Bye.
Later, chat.